Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for May 23rd through the 29th, 2022. So I'd like to begin by first welcoming everyone back to this week's series, and also I'd like to welcome anyone who's new to the Angelic Wisdom community. Just a few things I want to make you aware of. So I have forgotten to do this, but I will remember to post the final design of the Angelic Wisdom logo. So I'll be posting that. Also, I just we're working on now the new website because the .com Angelic Wisdom was already at this very expensive price, over $2,000. So I decided to go with a .org. So it will be angelicwisdom.org, the new website, when it's finished, and so I'll let you know when that happens in some time soon. Hopefully, maybe by the end of the month, or probably in June sometime. But definitely will keep you posted about that. Let's see, I will be working on the general monthly reading for June. So that should probably come out this week. And then I'll start working on the angel scopes for the 12 zodiac signs. And those videos will probably come out the following week, somewhere in the beginning of June. And let's see. Also, if you're looking for an angel reading with me, and you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. And since this is my 10th anniversary year on YouTube, I've been offering my first time promotional angel reading unlimited for this year. So you can select that if you feel called to do so. And there are other options there as well. So, feel free to choose the service that suits your needs. And I think finally, I just want to say, again, thank you all for, some people have been reaching out to me as I've been talking about the subscribing to the channel, and also, making sure that your all notification bell is selected. And so some people have been rediscovering or checking and leaving little notes, letting me know that they were glad to have found me again. So, make sure you, if you can, support the channel in that way with, subscribing and leaving comments, as all this helps the algorithms, etc. And so let's take this moment now to take a deep breath and to connect in with our I Am Presence and your angelic team. And just allow yourself to be aware of your heart space, your heart chakra. And the angels are, this is interesting. So they show a person standing next to a tree as if to be protected. The branches of the tree is sort of like an umbrella, and they just have on their underwear. So this feeling of cool and sort of breeziness, right? Flow. And then they wrote the word manifest, and it feels like a Three of Wands moment, where the person is looking out underneath this tree. Is almost like, it feels like it's on a hill, and they're looking out, and the sunrise is glowing bright in their face, and they feel a sense of freedom, as if the limited clothing is that they're ready to shed or have shed their baggage. So spiritually, um, it's like you're ready to unburden yourself and really express who you are, and that you have hopes and visions that you're now willing to invest in and fully embrace, as you put all those other things behind you, all those things that they just wrote could, like, maybe in the past you said, I could do this, or I could have done this, or I could have done this, and but you had this on your plate, you had this on your plate, and this there was always an excuse, right? And so you're shedding all of these excuses, and you're ready for joy. You're ready to acknowledge the joy that is within you, that your goals and your desires offer you profound hope and joy, and you're ready to put aside the excuses that has prevented you from believing that you could have those things and those opportunities, and that you could experience and such joy and freedom. So they're really and so this is a time when they're writing about the word manifest. This is a time now, they write the word faith, for you to have faith in your desires of your heart, to have faith in your visions, these possibilities that you're dreaming or longing for. It requires now your faith for them to manifest, and it doesn't require a lot. And this goes to say that you don't have to start big in order for you to feel like you're doing something. The manifestations it can come in this very large package, or it can come in these small doses as you're ready and you feel prepared and you feel confident and you feel able to be consistent enough to create momentum for yourself. So they want you to think about success as not something that happens once you've fulfilled the vision and achieved it in its completion in the way that you think it should exist. They want you to think about success as energy. They just wrote in front of me. And that energy of success starts at the very beginning. And it starts with the way that you approach it, the way that you fulfill each moment that you're engaged in whatever it is that you're trying to create. And so success is something that you can create, number one, while you are in the time that you have allotted for yourself to work on that opportunity. So make sure that what you're doing is something that you enjoy, something that you love and that you're excited about and that you are passionate about. Make sure that whatever has fueled this purpose, that you remain devoted to it. That you remain devoted to it. And in this way, there are things, in this way you build what is called the practice of success by always working in this way, approaching this journey in this way. And when there are things that sort of disrupt that flow for you, like there may be an aspect of this, project that may not be pleasant for you, you know, you may not have certain skills, or you might feel it may, you may feel that you lack certain abilities in certain areas. Don't allow the unpleasantness to bog you down. And the ways that that can happen is when we tend to then overemphasize the thing that we consider our weakness, and then spend so much time trying to knock it out, trying to figure it out, that you become possessed by your fears and lose the connection to the practice of success, the feeling of success. So instead of spending huge amounts of time disconnected from where you feel secure and confident and hopeful, spread this out. Take small doses of these unpleasant aspects, the things that have to be done, things that we have to face, but handle them in small doses. Make sure that you create time in your schedule of the project, that you spend most of your time working at the practice of success, and the things that are unpleasant and that are challenging for you, don't just avoid them, which is what most of us tend to do, but work with them small doses daily, or wherever you feel you can sort of slide them in, and that you need to kind of take a moment to learn a little bit more about that piece, that unpleasant piece, or that if it's just a task that you just need to spend a few moments, just kind of working through some of that stuff. But don't spend exorbitant amounts of time, or don't go to the point where you feel like you're beginning to lose your connection to the practice of success. That is to say, feeling successful, feeling pleasure and excitement and eagerness for what it is that you're doing. So it'll be up to you to create a practice of success and to manage that practice of success in an eloquent way that allows you to feel as though you are sustaining your sense of purpose over the long haul. And that the practice of success is the journey. It's the journey. And the journey is what you make it. You can choose to focus on those things that cause you to feel limited or inferior. Or you can choose to focus on those things that allow you to feel hopeful. And before you know it, this practice of success, which is combined with so many wonderful things like joy, attracts abundance to you, attracts the opportunities to you, attracts a network to you, attracts the funds, support, and resources that you need. You'll find them because your mind will be optimized towards opportunities. And so it's going to be very, very important for you in this process to do so. All right, let's take a look at the card for the Archangel for the week. And it's Archangel Raguel. And Archangel Raguel is the Archangel of Justice. So it says, be fair in all situations, resolve your conflicts. So I'm feeling like he's holding it, pointing to that scale, and he's talking about balance. So our perspective of fair and justice comes from our personal practice of balance, making sure that we live in harmony with our environment, that we have balance in our input and output. We talked about this last month or sometime, so many weeks back, I don't know how many. But being aware of your input and your output. That is to say, what you receive and what you offer. Being aware of how you balance your time in terms of awareness. This also means that when you're doing something, being a balanced mind, when you're doing something, you're working on a project or you're working on a task, that you're doing it with devotion, that you're not thinking about other times in your schedule or worrying about other things. That when we worry while we're trying to do something, that is not balance. When you allot your part of your time to do something, then you must be devoted to it. And you must try to find a way for that, an approach that works for you, that will allow you to feel pleasure. And so that might mean balance, that you might have to set realistic goals for yourself. If you see where I'm going with this, the mindset being a balanced in terms of its expectations, being balanced in terms of what you ask of yourself or what you ask of others. This kind of balance, that if you practice this balance in your own life, in relationship to anything or anyone that you're interacting with, then you will have a mindset where you see balance in other situations around you, or other situations that you're involved in. You will attract more fair outcomes to yourself. You will be able to be more clear-minded about, in your own practice of seeing solutions and being one who can offer solutions, and knowing when you are meant to offer them and you're not meant to offer them. You will start to click into the divine order of the universe itself, which is always balancing everything. So every situation you see is, without your judgment, is already balanced. Even if it seems unfair in your opinion, the law of attraction is always making sure that everything is balanced, meaning that like is attracting like. So if you see a situation that to you feels harmful or cruel, and I don't mean to simplify that, but I'm doing it to just illustrate the point, not to speak on whatever that might be. But the thing is that like will always attract like. The law of attraction makes sure of that. And so what we're watching, you got to remember, let's put it this way, a better way to put it, is that what you're watching in any event are the karmic lessons that are helping the parties to find healing, to be released of that karmic cycle, or that fear, or that illusion. And so that's what I mean by balance. But when you become aware, when you start to practice this balance for yourself, you will feel less enraged about what you see, and you'll become more clear about how to navigate those things to bring about healing and resolution in the way that your angels do. And so therefore you can almost serve as an ambassador of peace once you get your own practice going within in yourself and your life. Once you allow your awareness to expand to this delicate balance of the laws, then you will be able to be more effective, not only for yourself, but others. Okay. I think that's the best way to put it for now. All right, so let's take a look at the first card for the week. And this one just fell to the floor. So this is the Daughter of Coins. And what she's got here, it looks like she's set up her little business here of plants, and she is ready to get something going here. So meaning that there's a new opportunity that might be coming to you, or something that you might be starting. And I get this sense about, it may not be where you want to end up, but it's where you might need to start, right? And I see the word explanation. And one of the things is that sometimes when we strike out to do something, and it has a profound meaning to us, it sometimes doesn't make sense to other people. And then we try to explain. And when we try to do that, we are not confident about what we're doing. So we're creating this energy, and this is something to pay attention to as they write the energy. You're creating an imbalance because you're inspired to do this. You are in your heart, you desire to do it and fulfill it, and yet when you interact with others, you are doubtful about what you're trying to do. And so then this creates this sense of not feeling confident, right? So your success feeling kind of plummets, right? So what you have to, first of all, when you have to explain yourself to other people, or you don't feel confident about explaining yourself, that means that you have not fully embraced what the decision you've made, and you've lost some connection to the purpose that inspired you. And you have to remember too that at the beginning, and that's about setting expectations, right, that are in balance with where you're at, which is where you're starting. And so make sure that you have sort of balanced expectations for beginning something, and be aware of what, you're not trying to limit, but you want to just have an awareness. And it's always the prayer, this or something better, right? But the thing is to learn to take pleasure, to be happy with your start, to be the advocate, encouraging your own initial phase of your development or your plans. All right, so let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. And this is sort of like, okay, Nine of Swords, and this is all about this worry, right? Um, and anxiety, letting your mind just spin out of control, and letting things, um, creating nightmares, creating things that don't exist. Okay, so if we don't have this approach, then this is what can happen. There's too many thoughts, and the way to calm down the worry and all of these anxious thoughts is to really stay focused in the present. All right, remind yourself that you're not there, you're here, and where you are right now. And oftentimes this happens when we have a lot of different things in our mind that we're worried about, that we worry about but don't take care of or don't try to manage them. So when you don't try to manage something, then what happens is it piles up, and your ego is able to, I don't know, the ego is trying to be mean, in this way, but what your ego does is just gathers it all, and it just forces it to the front of your mind, all of it. And not all of it is necessary. And it's almost like you're feeding the ego mind at that point. So you get this exaggeration of your concerns, and you lose sort of a sense of reality, like what might happen if you don't. But don't allow yourself to be put in that position. And so manage your time, manage these concerns in small doses, as I suggested before, throughout um, your schedule of success in working on this project and building it, and there's other things to think about, you know like, um I'm sure, like networking, or getting yourself out there on some kind of social media platform, whatever it would be, that would take care of some of those concerns that you have, that if it's about drawing in clients or things like this. So the idea here is, don't let allow things to pile up, but you don't have to feel like you have to work on all of them all at once and overwhelm yourself and take yourself out of that practice of success. All right. And the final card here is the Five of Swords. And it's interesting because we see what normally looks like the Three of Swords, where she's holding her heart in her hand. And in this deck, there's a lot of hands. It's like the very first card, the Fool. There are hands supporting the Fool as she moves along. And I feel like in this moment that you know you might allow yourself, the hand representing support, and that you might fall prey to feeling betrayed, um, or like when other people don't validate you. Maybe you start to have this self-defeat, and maybe you attack yourself. You attack your own heart. You attack your goals and your visions. So I feel like what's going to be really important for you in this week is to, in the practice of success, underneath that hood is the practice of balance. Not expecting more of this moment than what it can possibly offer to you. It's okay to have hopes, pray for the things that you would like to see unfold, and have faith in that. But then be in the moment and be realistic in terms of your goals, so that if something better happens, then wonderful, right? But be realistic in your goals so that you don't self-sabotage yourself. Set realistic expectations about what you might be able to accomplish in that day. You're never saying that you're limiting your outcome. But in the process, what you're doing is that you're making it easier for you to be successful in achieving that outcome. So you're focusing on quality over quantity in a day. How much quality investment of your time and your skills can you offer? How can you respect your personality, the way you're wired, right? You know, I mean, some of us, including me, like probably don't, I'm not the kind of person that's easily, like don't have great motivation and determination, easily inspired, but not easily motivated to get something done. Okay, so therefore, for me to say, "Oh, I'm going to get all this done today," that's just like shooting myself in the foot. So therefore, I really have to be realistic about the Barry I know. Not to say that I'm not wanting more from Barry, but I have to be honest about the Barry I know and know how I work and how I'm wired, and then focus on quality. And then as I feel good about the quality experience that I've focused myself and devoted myself in whatever amount of time, that would be the measurement, not to measure myself by quantity, but to measure myself by quality. And you have to be aware of the way you're wired in that regard, so you don't shoot yourself in the foot or hear it in your heart. And your heart is holding that vision. It's holding the intuition, the guidance to lead you, to support you. And you have to be kind to yourself. So this is also, sometimes where arguments and maybe people aren't being kind with their words. And so we need to be kind and compassionate towards ourselves. I mean, we drive ourselves crazy. There's no one else out there that does that to us. We do it by not working in a practical. So the coins or the pentacles suit they're a practical court. And what they're bringing to us today is, in the initial stages of any opportunity, be practical. Start with what you know, something that you love, you're passionate about. Start small so that you can grow into what it is that you're hoping to achieve. Start small, not because you're limiting yourself, but as they write in front of me, this is about energy, so that your energy is always sort of bigger than what you have set out to do. But if what you've set out to do is bigger than your energy, like what I just kind of described, like I know I'm not a motivated person, right? So why would I put like this huge list of things for me to do? Because it's not going to happen. So make sure that what you do works within the balance of your energy. And what they're kind of presenting today is that this is sort of maybe a block in your manifestation abilities, that it's not about, and you've made it possibly about, am I worthy? Do I deserve these things? Or nothing ever works out for me. I'm never lucky, that kind of thing, right? I never am able to accomplish anything. I'm not successful, and you've resigned yourself. And it's because you have not worked within the balance of your own energy. And once you do this, you will encourage your energy. You will encourage it to expand. But in order, and not only to expand, but also to sustain this expansion. in a way, this is a rewiring. And I hate to say that because that might trigger you, like, oh, I'm changing myself. Oh, I don't want to change. Your ego's like, no, don't change, right? So and for those of us who can't envision being better than what we are, because we're so negative in that way about it, knock, knock, knock. Okay, that causes this, knock, knock, knock. All right, then we might be triggered by that. But if you just understand to work within your energy and create, um, design your time and your project on quality, not quantity, and work within that, and create that practice of success by the awareness of balance, input, output, and making sure that your input, output is in harmony with your energy, the way you work. And eventually, that energy, the feeling of success, the balance, the awareness, and the knowing, and like it's almost like this, you'll feel more order, more harmony in your within yourself and in your surroundings. That this balance will allow you to enhance your practice, or it will enhance your practice of success, and your practice of success will expand your energy. And with energy comes more love, first they write, comes more joy, comes more prosperity, and more motivation, and more inspiration. And they write currency, more flow of abundance. So this is a powerful lesson for us to work with Archangel Raguel. And he is sort of like the relationship archangel in terms of resolving conflicts with yourself and with others in that way. Look at this. So the Fool card, I was talking about it, and I didn't realize it was the card from the bottom of the deck. And this is about, I don't know, it feels like trusting yourself and trusting the universe and trusting life itself, the abundance. Life is abundance. Life is full of many opportunities. And as you can see, these hands, it's like the universe just reaching up to you and, supporting you. And it's for you to be happy, to choose a path that fulfills you, that inspires you. And she has her little angel wings there, and that she's just sort of twirling around it. And so this is something for you to be aware of. This will, this practice that we talked about today will start to release you, will start to give you a sense of independence and freedom. And it's also advocating that any new beginnings that you're being inspired to follow or pursue, that this is the time for you to do so now. But do it without the pressure stacked on your shoulders. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful week, and God bless you.